Hello everyone, welcome to Code Institute channel. Today we are going to talk about how you can have page-to-page routing in your next React website. To give you an example, we are here in Airbnb website, and as you can see we have several options. If I click on design, this design related component shows up, and if I click on Arctic, there is another component renders as well. Kind of emulates how you would go from page to page on a traditional website. I am going to go to my terminal. Now, before I start, if you are completely beginner to React, I do have a React beginner crash course. The link will be in the description as well if you want to check that out. And so I am in the React Router DOM crash course folder already. So I'm going to go ahead and do npx create React app. So create React app script I will be using, and space dot. Dot basically means that please install and download everything in the current folder that I'm in. So I'm going to press enter. Okay, so React application is downloaded and installed. So I'm going to go ahead and open up in my editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. You can use whatever code editor you like. And all right, so here we have our source. As you can see, app CSS, app.js, test, and logo, and all kinds of stuff right here. So I'm going to go back in my terminal. So I'm going to start the project, which will be npm start, and that will start my React application in port 3000, as you can see right here. And I am going to delete all of this because for this tutorial, it's going to be a simple one. I believe it's going to be like in half an hour. It's not that complex. I'm just going to make my React app as simple as I can. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this all app right here, app.css, app.js, app.test, logo, this report vital, setup test, everything will be deleted. All right, and I don't have to worry about those. Now in the source file, I will create a new app.js, and here now I am on React 18, so I don't need to import React on every component. And if you're wondering what I just did, it's a shortcut that comes with an extension that is ES7 plus React Redux native snippets. So that's what I use here. So it just basically creates an arrow functional component for me. So here we have app. Let me go ahead and now check out. You see I am having some issues. Let's go ahead and fix that. All right, the first thing it's saying module not found, report web vitals, and that is in my index.js because I just deleted report vitals. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Import, get off all this comment, and that should do it. And as you can see here, now my new app is just say app. Okay. All right, and as you can see, we are using React 18, and React 18 actually has this root, the create root. So if you want to know more about this, it makes our React application more performant. I will give a link in the description if you want to know more about that. All right, now React Router DOM is a third-party package, right? It doesn't come with a React core package. There are alternatives to that, but this is by far the most popular one. So we have to install this. All right, now I am going to go ahead and install npm I, short for install, and I'm going to say React dash router dash DOM. And that will install React Router DOM as a dependency. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a look at my package.json and see if it downloaded correctly. And I want to say here dependencies, and you can see that we have version 6, React Router DOM version 6. Now, React Router DOM version 6 has a few things that has been updated and changed from the previous version. So if you already know the previous version, version 5 or version 4, and worked with React Router DOM, this video would be informative to you because there are a couple of changes that you wanna you want to know about. So all right, so we have this app. Now let me go ahead and create some pages, right? So in the source folder, I will create another folder. I'm going to say it pages. And inside the pages, I'm going to create, let's say, my first home.js, like here. And here I'm also going to utilize my shortcut, which is going to be React. Arrow function, this one, the second one, React arrow function with export default. Now I'm going to get rid of this first import React line because I don't need that. And here it is home. Okay, now app, let me create 3 more pages like that. So I'm going to go ahead and create another one. This one is going to be about .js, and I'm just gonna go ahead and copy paste this one. So home, it's gonna be about. This one also gonna be about. Let's do not a folder, but a page. That is gonna be contact, like that. And contact is actually going to be in the pages. So in the contact, I will have the same exact thing. Okay. Save. And let's make another, which is going to be services. Like that. And I will make another page that will say profile. Now this one will be a private page, right? Profile should be only accessible to a user that is logged in. All right, and we're gonna talk about this later, about private route. So I'm just gonna say this one is gonna be profile. Save. Now let me go back to my app here and import all the components. So I'm going to say import, first import home from home. I'm going to make this. The next one actually going to be about, and the one is going to be contact. The next one will be services, and the last one would be profile. And here, go and get rid of that, and I am simply going to render these components. Let's go to, as you can see here, home. And I would do it for the about as well. This needs to be in parentheses, like that. Because I'm trying to do 2 component, I would absolutely have to do it within a div. There we go. And actually, I will get rid of the div and just have like a fragment. And here I will get contact. And here I'll get services, and lastly I'll get the profile. Okay, but as you can see here in the app itself, I have all the components and it shows all the pages right here. Okay, everything is visible because home.js will have its home, component, all this homepage stuff, right? HTMLs and all kind of JSX, all this stuff. So you want the homepage when the user first land on your domain to see the home, but nothing else. But if they click on about, or let's say go to /about page, then it should render only the about, but nothing else. Okay, so that's how the render is supposed to work. So let me go back to the slash again. The slash is the home page path. Okay, let me show you. If I inspect here, and as you can see, if you write in the console, let me do this, window object, they have a location, and location has something called path name. It will give you the path name of that page. So when a user actually goes to, like, first lands on, then that's a slash path. If I go to, let's say, an about, okay, and run the same code right now, the path is going to be slash about. Okay, so this is how path works. So let me see if I can make that routing happen with React Router DOM package that we just installed. And to use it, the first thing we have to do, two ways we can use React Router DOM, that a browser router that comes with it. We can import that browser router here in the app.js component. I'm going to say browser router. As you can see here, my Visual Studio Code helping me with that. So browser router from React Router DOM. And I can wrap everything here with this browser router, right? I can just do browser router like this, and every component will be inside this browser router. The reason I want to do this because I want to give all my component access to a browser router, that is the package React Router DOM. Okay, now I can do this here, or more preferably, I actually like to do this browser router thing in the index.js file. So once I am in index.js file, let me make it bigger here so you can actually see. Let's do 30. Perfect. As you can see here, so React DOM, and here we are rendering. Okay, root.render our app, which in turns, let me go close all this, in app.js, which in turn are rendering all other components. Okay, in index.js we are only rendering app. So here I like to import the browser router. So I'm going to say import browser router just like before, and here I'm going to utilize this one inside the strict mode. I'll do that and the app like this, and this is a one-time deal, so I don't really have to come back to index.js anymore. So let me go ahead and close that, and in my app.js, in order for me to actually hook this up with the route and routes, I have to import two more things. The first one is going to be routes, and the second one is going to be a route, and that's going to be from React Router DOM. So we have routes and route. So routes is a wrapper which will wrap every route inside of it, and route is the actual route that will render the component. Let me show you this. So I'm going to create, actually let me open up here routes like that, and inside the routes, let me right now comment this out, and inside this route I would have to utilize a route like this. Now this route takes two things. It takes first path, and the path is an attribute which will, within a quotation, I would have to say which path I want to render the element or the component, right? So it takes the path, and the next one it takes the element, which is just some JSX, right? So let's say this component I want to render home. Let's put that in here, right? Like this. And the path, as we talked about before, the slash is going to be the home path. So I have to put the slash here. And as you can see here, if I refresh, it is now showing up as, let me make it bigger, home page, right, at the slash path. So route, which will take path, which is the slash, and element home. All right, now let me make this another, and this time I will say the path should be about, and it should render the about page component. Now if I go to, if I go to here, about, and if I refresh, you see that now I'm in about page. If I go back to slash again, then I'll be on the home page again. So this is how you kind of create the route. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly create the other routes So let me go ahead, do for contact services and profile. So this one will be for contact services. All right, now if I save it, and now you see that if I go to /contact, I am now in contact page. Okay, now obviously I don't want my user to keep changing the URL to go from one page to another. I would want some sort of navigation. So let me go ahead and create a really simple navigation that will just work for this video. I am going to go to the source, and here I'm going to create a folder, components, and here I'll create nav.js, which will have a basic navigation, right? So I'm going to say const nav, which will be an arrow function, and it's going to return an order list, which will have the list. The first one will be home. Let me go create some more. The second one will be about. The third one will be contact. And the fourth one will be services. And the third one would be, I think the fifth one would be profile, like that. So before I forget, let me go ahead and export default this so I can utilize that. Export default nav. Now save it, and in my app.js, let me go ahead now import components and nav. And here, since I want navigation to appear on all the pages, I'm actually going to call the nav component outside of this routes. And as you can see, this navigation right now, it's in home page. And now if I actually go to about, I can also see the navigation appears here as well. So navigation will be rendered because it is outside of routes, no matter what. Okay. All right. So in order for me to make this a link that will, like, if I click on home, it should go to a home page, I would have to utilize some sort of like anchor tag, right? Now, React Router DOM actually has its own anchor tag called link. So before I do this, I am going to change the style of this a little bit. So I'm going to go to the index.css and just simply copy some styles. All right, I think it is a little bit, there you go. Make it more, okay, cool. All right, so I have the link here, home, about, contact, service, and profile, and this is the about page right now. I'm in there. Okay, so let me go back to the navigation page, and here I will import that link. So link from React Router DOM, and here let's cut this and import this link. Okay, and write home. Now link also take, just like anchor tag takes like an href, link takes 2, and where it should go to the slash. Okay, now if I save this, now you see that home is now a link. See, the home is now a link. If I click on here, it actually goes to the home page. All right, so let me go ahead and do the exact same thing, but with about here, which will be about. This will be about. This will be contact. This will be contact. And let's do this. Services. And let me just get this link like this, and this is going to be profile. All right, so now all of our link actually works. So home, we have a home. About, we are getting about. Contact, we're getting contact. Services, profile. Okay, looks like our routing actually works. Fantastic. All right. So at this point, this structure will work, and you can have your profile or landing page or anything if you want and use this structure. I want to show you two more features that comes with React Router DOM. Well, one is something called a private route, right? Now, you know that we created this profile page. So if I click on profile, it's say profile, right? Now this profile page should be private, should not be accessible. This profile should not be accessible to anyone that is not logged in. Okay, so let me show you how we can create that. So in a page, we are going to create another component, and this one will be private route.js. It's going to be a private route.js, and I'm going to create this const private route, which will be an arrow function. It will return something, let's say just a div, export default private route. Okay, and in app.js, I am going to import that private route from the pages and private route. Okay, now this private route is going to be a wrapper. Yeah, so here I am going to expand that element profile, cut the profile, but I'm going to have the private route, which will be a wrapper, and then inside the private route, I will have the profile, and I will say this like this, right? All right, so home, about, contact, services, profile, but profile now it's in private mode. Now in private, let's say you can have like this is save it, and you see that in profile now, this is private, this div is now rendering, but you want this profile to be rendered. Now this profile is now children of this private route. So if you go to private route, you can destructure children like that. And instead of this div, you can actually simply return children. And if you save this, you see now it is showing profile, which was our, if you go to profile page, you see that we are only returning profile. I can make it like welcome to your profile like that. Okay, so children basically means that since it's a wrapper component, whatever inside this one, render that. All right, cool. So here's what we want to do. Instead, like if the user is not logged in, if they click on profile, I want them to redirect to some other component or some other pages. Maybe it could be like a home page or like a sign in page that, you know, basically I'm telling like, hey, you need to sign in because you're not logged in. Okay, to do that in the private route.js, I'm going to import navigate. We're going to import navigate from React Router DOM. Close this, React Router DOM. Okay, and here I am going to simply create a variable is logged in, and I will make this false first. Let's say make this false, and here in return I'll say if is logged in true, then show the children, show the profile content. If not, then navigate, and that's going to be another component. And navigate actually works just like a link would do, so it will also take two, and it basically wants to know where you want this page to navigate to. So I'm going to say right now, since I don't have like a sign-in page or anything, I'm going to redirect this page to homepage. Now if I save this As you can see right now, it changes to home. So if I click on services, it goes to services. But if I click on profile, it actually goes to the home page instead of the profile, because the is logged in is false. But if I turn into true and save it, now if I go, let's say profile, you see that now it can actually take a look at content of the profile. All right, so this is how you can make a private route in React Router DOM. All right, two more things I want to show you. One is something called nested route. Now, this structure will work perfectly for you if you want, but there is also a feature of nested routes in React Router DOM. So, as you can see, the navigation here is outside of our routes, right? And then that's why it is always shown. I can actually grab the nav and put this inside the routes. And let me do this. I am going to create another route. And this time it's going to be a wrapper like this, because I want to nest everything inside of this route. So let me go ahead and copy everything, put this in this route, okay? And this route will be, it will take a path, and this path will basically be home page. And this will take the nav component, the element, the nav component. All right, now if I save this, so what's happening? So as of right now, as you can see, you cannot see the home page anymore. So if you save this, nothing's rendering. So I'm gonna get to that in a moment. But what is the structure-wise? What's happening? So I am basically saying, so the route, the first route is gonna be taking the slash path, and it should show the nav. So this nav element or component is available to all of its children. Okay, all of this route that is nested. So nav will show up on home, about, context, services, everywhere. All right. Now the reason it's not showing is because in the nav.element, the nav doesn't know, or the router DOM doesn't know where to show this, where to render this, where to show this. So in order for me to show the nested routes, I have to go to the nav.js. And here, as you can see, we have our unordered list. And here I'm simply going to wrap this in a div, or let's do like a fragment. Like that. And I'm going to import also something called an outlet. Okay. Now this outlet is basically I'm telling the nav that, hey, this is where you need to render all these nested routes just under the navigation itself, under the unordered list. Now, if I save this now you see that home page came back. All right. So if I go to app.js, so in the slash path, I want to show both of them. I want to show nav. I also want to show home. That's what's happening. But if it goes to about, so let's click on about. I want to show the about page, but the nav will always be there, right? Because it's the parent of this. Now, since these are all its children, the slash will be prepended with every path. So I don't really need this slash anymore. Right? If I save this, now it's going to look for the slash, and then it's going to look for about, context, service, and profile. And it's going to do the exact same thing as you can see here. All right, so that's this, what's called nested routes. All right, the last thing I want to show you is that about a 404 page. What if people goes to like whatever, right? Right now it doesn't show anything, doesn't happen, doesn't do nothing, right? But ideally you would show like a 404 not found page, right? So I am going to keep myself within this route wrapper, and then just create another route. And this doesn't need to be a wrapper route. It can be just a nested route like this. So here it will take a path. Now this time the path will take just a star. And with the star, basically I'm saying, other than this defined path, if anything else comes up, then render this element. And this element could be your 404 page. Now I don't have a 404 page, so I'm just going to render a string like that. Now if I save this, you see my navigation, everything works just fine. But if I now do something crazy and enter, you see that now it says 404 page not found. All right, so this is it. I hope you like this video, and I hope that you would use React Router DOM in your next React project. If you like this video and if you thus far watch the whole video, I thank you so much. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you and peace.